Hello everybody, my name is Ravi and welcome to my channel RTW, My Tech World. Today we're going to look at a flagship killers company's first attempt at a flagship and how does it fare after 1 year of use and can it keep up with 2020. In the growing and developing market where every couple of months you see a new technology in a phone where good phones are getting expensive and cheap phones are getting better. And it's getting confusing day by day for you to make your right decision and which phone will give you the best value for money. Let's look at the specs of this 2019 phone by Oneplus. We got a Snapdragon 855 with 7nm chipset, Adreno 640 GPU, 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, 128 or 256 gigs of non-expandable storage, and UFS 3.0 in that storage as well. It has Bluetooth 5.0 and NFC at the same time. On the front, we have a 6.67-inch 19.5 to 9 aspect ratio of 1440p resolution with 90 Hz refresh rate for the display. Both front and back are Gorilla Glass 5. On the back, we also have a triple camera setup with laser autofocus. We will come back to the camera a bit later. On the bottom, we have our speaker, our USB-C charging port with the SIM tray. On the left, we have our volume rockers. On the top, we have the pop-up selfie camera and a noise cancelling microphone for video recording. And on the right, we have our sweet alert slider and the power button. On the camera, we have our 16 megapixel wide angle camera. Then we have 48 megapixel primary and 8 megapixel 3x telephoto camera, which both support OIS and face detect autofocus. Then we have our laser autofocus, which sadly only works with the primary camera. The display is bright and vivid with a max brightness of 399 nits, average performer during outdoor use. However, if you have auto brightness on, the color temperature of the screen changes to offer better clarity of what's on the screen. The phone is not officially IP certified but has the necessary seals to protect it from light rain and sudden drops of phone in a puddle, but won't really recommend it for anybody. The phone is heavy at 206 grams and has a curved display, which I like. However, it's not really fun to use outdoors because it makes it very difficult to view your contents as the light reflects off the edges. It is a slippery phone and it's sometimes very difficult to reach the top corners with one single hand. The charging still with 30 watts warp charge, which takes up 0 to 100 in just 1 hour and 15 minutes. Giving you an average screen on time of 5 to 6 hours if you keep up the 1440p and 90 Hz on all the time. It will give you better battery life if you just move back to the auto switching option, which automatically adjusts the resolution. Jumping over to the gaming performance, all the games that I have tried run at full resolution with no lag or stutter whatsoever. Let's look at the gameplay of one of the games, which is Asphalt 8. Now some Call of Duty, which again performs beautifully, and the large screen helps to have many controls on the screen at the same time and maneuver between them.
Enemy's flag dropped. Our flag dropped. Enemy's flag captured. We have the enemy's flag.
Reloading! Contact with enemy!
Package inbound. Enemy took our flag. Our flag dropped. Enemy took our flag. Our flag dropped. Our flag returned.
Now let's come to the camera a bit. It takes decent shots in a well-lit environment, but has a lot of shutter lag, which a lot of tech reviewers have missed out on. If you turn off HDR, it gets better, but still not what you'd expect. The wide-angle camera has a little bit of distortion. Going to the video, it records 4K at 60 FPS at the rear camera, and the front 16 megapixel camera records only at 1080p at 30 FPS. If you're looking for something of front-facing purpose, this won't be the one for you. Let's look at some sample photos. As you can see, the additional lenses help the phone give a shallow depth of field without portrait mode. The photo from the main sensor are good and with great dynamic range given the lighting conditions, of course. The wide angle camera is again good but has a little bit of distortion on the edges and loses a little bit of detail since it's only 16 megapixel. The wide angle camera, after a few updates that I got, has got support for the night mode finally, where it performs okay, and it's kind of hit and miss as the wide angle camera does not have OIS and you have to keep your phone steady for about 5 seconds to take that shot. Now the night mode on the main sensor is amazing. It takes good consistent shots but sometimes looks over processed and unnatural. It also shoots slow motion videos at 480 fps at 720 pixels. And if you are wondering, the wide angle camera, it's not really supported for this video or any video for that matter. Now wait, we have something more as well. For the first time, Oneplus added a super stable mode which runs only at 1080p at 30 fps, but it sharpens the subject very well and more than it should sometimes, but does a great job in stabilizing the video. Looking at side by side, you can see the super steady mode does a decent job while at brisk walk, but if you notice, sometimes it lags a bit when it starts recording. We also have a 16 megapixel pop-up selfie camera, which again takes decent shots in a well-lit environment but lacks any form of dynamic range. The phone is currently running Android 10 and due the Android 11 upgrade this year. Now the question is, if you have the phone, should you upgrade to the new OnePlus phones or any other phone for that matter? Well, if you use the phone to play games and consume a lot of content and have a minimum use of camera, then I would suggest stick with it. But if your primary need is an amazing camera, then you want to look for a different phone.